Hi, everyone. So I just have some music playing in the background. I don't have a second screen, so if you see me switching back and forth between streaming and what I'm actually doing, no, you didn't. Basically, the purpose of this stream is I'm just going to be uploading a bunch of species to the database, kind of trying to hold myself accountable to also putting in time to this project and as a place to answer any questions that anybody might have. So right now I'm working on adding new pictures and reviewing information from Metasplendens. Yeah, so if you guys feel like adding anything, go ahead and pop it in the chat, and I can also put it into this description here. How do you spell styrofoam? Oh, it's just capitalized because it's a name. I see. Computer styrofoam. Cups, flat planes, or Indian almond leaves. Yeah. Oh, so for everyone who has added to the database, thank you so much. I am actually going to be going through and approving some species that have been added as well. So if you have sent in a species that hasn't been approved, we're going to do that as soon as I finish this update here. We're in comments. In rare cases, no subtract here. Thanks. Hi everyone. Hope everybody's Sunday is going well. Let me know if there's a species you want to see me add to. All right, so that's one edit down. Let's go ahead and switch to our admin. Is it gonna let me switch? Yeah, you guys should be able to see this. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes, right? So it's just a bunch of different categories that we have. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're actually going to go into fish, and we can see that these 4 fish have not been approved. So we have the gold molly, the lampi, sailfin molly, and the zebra/leopard danio. So we're just going to go through these and check to make sure that the information is accurate, things like status and things like that. And then we'll go ahead and approve them. So Ramcrest lampi, fish base probably has it. Yeah, so actually we have, is this the right fish? Let's check the scientific name. Okay, so it looks like, let's search with the scientific name instead. So it still looks like it's giving this, I wonder if it was reclassified. Yeah, so this is actually a mix of 2 different species and genus. So let's go ahead and take a look at the picture and see which one that we're working with. So we'll go to fish images, and we should have, I don't remember how this is organized. I think we're on page. Interesting. So it's right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this image here. Okay, so let's see what this guy looks like. And then let's see what this guy looks like. Okay, I don't think it's this one. So I think we're probably looking. This doesn't look right either. This is super interesting. Okay, so I'm actually going to reach out to the person that submitted this or submit this picture to a different, like a Facebook group, something like that to help with identification, or even something like Google Lens. Ooh. Okay, Silver Creek. So I see that you did the gold Molly entry. Yeah, so you can in fact convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that actually. If you go here to your profile, you'll actually be able to edit your profile and set your preferred units here. So preferred temperature versus preferred measurement units. You can have Celsius, Fahrenheit, US feet or inches. This is the important part. Go down and remember to hit save. Otherwise, it's not going to update your units of measurement. Let's see. Okay, let's keep going. So this lamp needs edits, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one for now. Steve, if you could just go ahead and send me like an email or an Instagram message. I just want to double check this. Let's go ahead and move on to the gold Molly here. So once again, we'll go here and look it up on Fishbase. Fishbase is generally my go-to for looking at status because they have a good IUCN red list status reference. So here we see least concern. That's good. 6 to 10 centimeters. 75, omnivore. Thrive in harder water. Yeah, so a lot of this, I'm not really looking to like nitpick. I'm just trying to see if this is accurate information or not, because the first, this is the first thing that people are going to see. If you're the first person to show, to like submit a species, that's the one that gets shown, at least for now. So we go ahead and approve that one, and then we'll go to the next one. So this one was approved. You can see it switched to a check mark. Now we move on to the sailfin Molly, which I love. I've been trying to get my hands on, but I haven't been successful. I know they're not hard to get my hands on, but like I've been slacking a little bit. Wild caught outdoor colony style, ambient temperature. Ooh. I love how the Colorado River is in Arizona, like part of it at least. Okay, so let's go ahead and double check the image for this guy, sailfin Molly. Gold Molly, Liberty Molly. Do we not have sailfin? And I'm also still figuring out some of the ways this database works, because I did design it, but obviously the person who made it did have to make some like minor changes and things like that. So we'll go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and look at this Danio here. So in a scientific name, only the first part is capitalized. So the species is capitalized, not the genus. The family is correct. Genus Danio, or I switched those around, but yeah, zebra Danio, leopard Danio, those are all part of the same group. So I think, is there like a pearl Danio as well? Am I remembering that correctly? No, okay, that's a different one. Danio Rio, let's see, least concern. Yep, least concern. And then definitely not aggressive. Omnivorous, not very picky, egg scatterer. Yep, this looks good to me. So now let's go ahead and check these out in the database, right? So we added 3 new species right now. So let's go ahead and go to the database and check this out. So let's go ahead and start. Notice how I'm not saying any of the scientific names, because I know for a fact that I would mess them up. So we have Latipina. Check spelling. Yeah, okay, I need to go back and edit the spelling on that one. Yeah, the information looks good. I'm sure somebody in chat has a picture, if anyone is so inclined to submit that. Let's go ahead and edit this. There we go. And we'll go ahead and save. So that should be reflected now on, let's see. Yep, nice and easy. So I know you guys can get them fast, okay? I just haven't gotten to it. You guys are great. What a great community. Yeah, I just have this on in the background, so we can ignore that. What else did we add? We added the gold and the sail fin. Oh, I'm liking this picture. Yeah, gold molly. Yeah, this looks good. And Silver Creek's wildlife. So you can see that it has image credit every single time. So your images, they'll be able to be traced back, things like that. And then let's go ahead and look at this Daniel. Actually, funny story. In the very beginning, this family page was not, it was not alphabetical. So it was really hard to find families, but I like Control F and whatever. But yeah, this looks good. And as you can see, you don't even need to have a picture to submit species information. I just assume those things will follow naturally. I didn't know if you guys knew this, but there's also a forum. And I actually had each of these images commissioned by one of the artists that is actually also makes the kids. So I really appreciate her for that. Because this is an admin account, you can actually see the organization forum. So this is specifically for scientific communities who are looking at like grant writing, research, sharing information that's maybe a little more sensitive, things like that. I haven't gotten very far on this yet, but I have considered opening like individual forum pages. So for example, if you're working on a project and you want a forum section that's specifically for your project, definitely just send me a message and we can figure that out. There's actually one person that I'm working with, his name is Shane, and he just loves studying taxonomy and like the different lineages and things like that, and proposing reconstructions of different lineages. So I'm going to be giving him his own forum subsection and things like that. I know you guys get to see me infinitely when I switch to the YouTube chat. But again, I did actually try having like a second screen, but for some reason the one I had, I just pulled it out of storage or something. It slowed my computer down by about 70%. And I still have no idea why. So you guys are going to be stuck with me switching back and forth between the chats. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what our next species is. So I just submitted, for those of you who might have joined in after this, I just submitted an edit to the Betta splendens species. So this is actually a picture taken by John, who I believe is hanging out in chat right now. So thanks, John, of a giant betta that I had a while back. And then, yep, there we go. There's the credit. And then we can see that some other people have also submitted images. So Liv Swimmingly did this. I love Liv. I think her photography won a couple of prizes at the Clash, if I'm remembering correctly. And then this one, so male Betta splendens performing the flaring behavior, platinum white macaque variant. So just different labels like that can be very helpful, especially when you have something with as many strains and tail variations as the Betta splendens. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and do the Cross River puffer. That's an interesting one. Went to a bunch of fish stores recently and, managed to see a bunch of different cool fish. Is that the same fish is the question? Do they have it labeled incorrectly? That doesn't look quite right. Let's try an image search. Let's see what happens if I do this. Unhelpful. Yeah, this doesn't quite look like a Cross River puffer. So this is why it's always important to kind of take what your fish stores have things labeled as with a grain of salt. Just because the label on this was Cross River, but as you can see, those two don't look the same. And what I did was just a image search. So if you just go to Google Images, you can actually search things by image here. So you can drag an image or upload a file to see what kind of fish you have. So let's just say, I don't know what fish this is. It'll identify it as what it is. So based off of, actually, I'm not entirely sure how the technology works. Should probably figure that out someday because it is interesting. But it'll tell you, it won't always be accurate, but it can help you kind of get closer to what you have. So let's go ahead and do this Vahaka buffer. And let's just double check that our images look kind of the same here.
How do you measure the human spirit?
Wow, I love pounds.
Milliliters? Or maybe there's no way to measure the human spirit.
Crazy.
It simply has no limit. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Okay, also, if you guys have images that you want to send in, species that you want me to do, again, now would be a great time to do it. I'm actually going to look at some experts because I am not an expert, with some people who know what they have. So these are some of the people who have given me permission to use their images with credit. So as long as I upload them with credit, I am allowed to use these images. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's do some Corys, maybe. So we have CW49, CW162. Yeah, and I really like these pictures that they have. So let's see, we have one of these that was formally described, right? So let's go ahead and take a look, see what's out there. Yeah, it actually looks like this is a relatively new species. So I am going to do, let's go here. And go ahead and add a fish. So we're gonna put, did I forget a letter? I did not. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and save this picture. Remember, do not steal pictures from other people's sites. I have permission to use these images with credit. This is something that I've discussed extensively with this Facebook group. So don't steal, don't plagiarize. That's not what this database is about. So it's probably gonna be a little difficult to find information on this species. So maybe it's not the best, actually. So a lot of like uploading things to the database, if it's not species that I own, is a lot of guesswork. So we have, what do the numbers mean? Let's stalk John's Instagram, shall we? I'm much more familiar with the species that he has. So here's the picture that you saw for the Betta splendens. Ropefish, close-up of some Oscars, Weichers, things like that, axolotls. A lot of invertebrates. I believe I already have an entry for the Severum. Let's double check. Yeah, there she is, Miss Piggy. Did we already do one for the Oscar? I feel like we should do one for the Oscar. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do that. We'll have this be the main picture. We like these cool close-ups. John, do you still have the original of this image? Oh, these are such nice pictures. Okay. Yeah, this won't be as nice because I'm stealing it. So let's go Oscar. And then maybe we'll take that full body too. Although I feel like a lot of people know what Oscars look like. We can just take that anyways. And then we'll do this one next, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and start a new fish. So Oscar scientific name. So a lot of people just assume that I know a lot of things, but actually I'm just really good at Googling them. And I think that's kind of the principle, to be honest. It's like, if you don't know something, you look it up, check your sources, make sure everything's going well. But yeah. I feel like this genus part is a little redundant, but Oscar, tiger Oscar, etc. And then what I usually do is I look at like Oscar fish. Is I generally look at like a bunch of different sites. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is kind of consolidate a lot of sites into one. I'm going to skip WikiHow, and we'll look at a couple other things of, what kind of parameters they like, and like everyone has their own examples. So I've personally never kept Oscars, but I know John has. So let's just go ahead and put it at 75 to 80 degrees. I'm going to switch. I'm going to go ahead and switch my units back to Fahrenheit and Celsius. Yeah, here we go. Let's go down to temperature, 75 to 80. And this is not the only species of Oscar, obviously. So we have piscivore, large and carnivorous. I don't take very good pictures, to be honest. I mean, you've seen my Instagram. A lot of the pictures are just taken with my phone camera. One of the tips that I've heard people do is to focus on the eye, but I'm not sure how relevant that is. Vibes for fast-moving nanofish that are just constantly like doing something. Yeah. 10 to 12 inches. I should probably add a lifespan field, actually. Let's put in 10 and say fish can get up to a foot, sometimes more. I should put that in inches. I'd say semi-aggressive. They can go with other South American cichlids. Species status, let's take a look. And these also have been selectively bred, so there are lots of different colors. Not evaluated, and it is not a threat to humans, though I do feel like I know some people who would disagree. What do these say about tank size? Okay, that's a YouTube video.
Hey everyone. Usually 180 would be a perfect tank for them, just because, as you'll see here, hole in the head disease. Now this fish...
Yeah, okay. Up to 12 inches, South America, Amazon. Okay, this is a nice description here. So this is from a forum. This is kind of what I'm hoping will end up happening in our database and forum as well. So I do agree 55 to 70 gallons. 55 if it's the only fish in there. Warmer water, and rocks, carnivore, rapid growers. I've never heard an Oscar referred to as the marble or velvet cichlid. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Warmer water. Yeah, 55 gallon minimum for one Oscar by itself, but 75 gallons is better. They are kind of hard to keep with other fish, but they can be kept with each other. So let's go ahead and put that in. So tank size, we'll put 75 gallons. And then parameters. Also, the species bred often in aquaria. Captive bred varieties are not picky on water parameters as long as the water is clean and warm. Yeah, so then we can put the level. They're just kind of everywhere. Oscars generally use the whole tank. Speaking of which, they have a bunch of different Oscars at the Denver Aquarium, which I really like going to see. Their freshwater section obviously could use some work because people go to aquariums to look at like sharks and stuff, but it's pretty good. They also have arowana there, so I can just like sit there and watch them and pretend that it's me. Someday it will be, as long as the water is warm. A 55-gallon can be used if the Oscar is the only fish, or as a grow out tank, but generally 75 gallons is better. But generally 75 gallons is the minimum mid, but most fish use the whole tank. Let's see. Deep sand. Hardy plants because they can sometimes try and get rid of them. Let's see, they have diet, anything you put in the tank. Small insects and crustaceans, live foods such as feeder fish. So let's go ahead and go back here and edit this to piscivore and insectivore. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and skip the other information. These are egg layers with parental care. So female will spawn on a rock. Both parents will guard the eggs and fry. Spawn size, I think one source said about 800. Usually numbering in the thousands. Okay, so I'm on the conservative end here. Okay, up to 3,000 eggs. So let's go ahead and up this number up here. Just say like 1,000. And then breeding season or trigger, water changes will often do it. Good diet. Female will lay up to 3,000 eggs. Honestly, fry are pretty self-sufficient with the help of the parents. Just make sure to feed food small enough for them to eat. And we'll go ahead and add our images here. So we'll have this full body image, caption, adult Oscar, credit John Twee, add another image, and we'll add this headshot here, close up, adult Oscar, close up of adult Oscar, credit, same thing. And then let's look at the geographical range here. Distribution, oh, that's in coordinates, okay. So it's really easy to just find information like this. So they are native to South America. So we have the Amazon and Orinoco rivers. So we're just gonna go ahead and add all of these. Let's see if there's a distribution map. The Orinoco Basin, so that's going to be, let's see here, most of Venezuela and Colombia. Yeah, so when we do this, we're going to put Venezuela, and we'll put, let's check one more time. It looks like, yeah, all of Venezuela, so I'm just going to check all the boxes, central, north, south, east, west. And put Orinoco Basin. Then we're going to do the same thing for Colombia. And here it also looks like most of Colombia. Let's see. Orinoco Basin. Then we're going to do the same thing. Then we'll go ahead and look at the Amazon. Yeah, so we have Brazil, Peru, Colombia. Okay. Yes, I'm just gonna go ahead and take these and put them here so I can reference them. I'm not actually going to add Argentina because it doesn't look like it goes down quite that far, actually. Then we have Brazil, Amazon River. And it looks like that goes through the northern part of Brazil. So I don't really remember, right? I don't retain much information. My geography is not great, but you definitely can fill in this information without knowing anything. We do have the internet. It is a very valuable source. So we already did Colombia. We already did Venezuela. I'm not doing Argentina. So we're missing Paraguay, Peru, and Uruguay. Peru. And that's going to be on the southern end of Peru. Amazon River. It's going to be central part of Paraguay. Paste. And we'll get Uruguay in there. So we're going to be able to see I wonder who wrote that. That's funny. And we'll put Uruguay. I love fact checking myself. I always doubt myself. Yeah, it's going to be the northern end. And we'll put Amazon River again. Okay, so now we've held out all of our information. We have our images. We have all of our credit and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of these tabs. That's a lot of pop-ups. Our okay, Vibes, I know you're joking about the recipe book, but that's actually something that I want to pursue. So the thing that I wrote my college thesis was about conservation through consumption. So instead of using invasive tilapia species, and can I pull it up? Conservation through consumption. Okay. Instead of using like tilapia that can easily become invasive in a lot of areas, using species that are local to the native areas, because a lot of people have recipes for this already, and actually teaching people how to prepare them as well. So, for example, if you were to make a fishery or like a hatchery or a fish farm of any sort that you could then use to also grow plants, and then have like recipes or help people know how to prepare the different fish. Because you can eat a lot of different fish. Like besides the nano fish, you can eat pretty much anything. And I've actually even seen people prepare Neocaridina shrimp. They just like had a bunch of them and then fried them and used them as a side to the dish. So I feel like there's a lot of potential there. So I know you were joking, but like that is actually something that I want to add at some point. Who knows if I'll add it on the database or not. Maybe I'll have a separate section in the forums or something. So let's go ahead and check here. As I'm posting with the admin account, yeah, so I still have to approve myself. We just did this together, so I'm going to go ahead and approve that. And then when we go back and check the database, we'll go to Cyclidae, and let's find our little Oscar here. There he is. So that's how this works. You can click through different images at the bottom. Thank you, John, for letting me raid your Instagram as always. Let's go ahead and do Ember Tetras now. This is a pretty common one in the hobby. Let's go ahead and save that Ember Tetra. And then get this picture of it in a school. They are schooling fish, Ember Tetra too. Okay, so let's go ahead and look it up. Ember Tetra, scientific name. Right, because I could know that, but I'm not going to. And then Ember Tetra, family. I always like to double check myself. go. Okay, cool. Ember Tetra hasn't been uploaded yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And we have this family here, common name Ember Tetra. So let's go ahead and look at some sources. Care. Spruce Pets has a species profile. Let's go ahead and look at that. I'm not going to look at Wikipedia. I don't like the information on Wikipedia is fine, but I do like looking at a bunch of different sources on my own. So we have adult size about 1 inch, lifespan 2 to 4 years. Oh, I'm going to make a note to myself. Add lifespan to database. Yeah, grows to about 0.8 of an inch, found in Brazil. Can keep them in a 5-gallon nano tank or in a bigger tank with a big school, 5.5 to 7.5 pH. No, I don't want to spin to win. Yeah, so it looks like the consensus is about 1 inch is what these guys get to. So let's go ahead and put in 1 inch. Generally a little less than 1 inch. And we're going to go peaceful and community. These are great community nanofish. They are, let's see, do you guys write nanofish like that? Like this? Like this? I'll put a hyphen. A hyphen sounds good. These are great community nanofish. And need a school. And let's look at the species status. So Ember Tetra, fish base. Yeah, and FishBase does have a lot of really valuable information. I just wanted to make, like, one of the ways that my database is different is to make it a little more legible. So like to a lot of people, this doesn't mean very much. But, you know, the distribution is always useful to have. The red list status is definitely useful to have. So least concern, tank size minimum 5 gallons. This is always referring to like either the minimum or the comfort range. Because generally fish don't really have a maximum tank size anyways, right? So let's go ahead and also look at diet. Food and diet, let's see. Balanced diet. Looks like they're omnivorous, maybe insectivores. Let's see, what foods do they like best? They will eat anything, nano foods, flake food, bug bites. Yeah, I would, let's think here. Diet and feeding is omnivore. Okay, so vegetarian and meat-based foods. Do we agree here? Yes, they are omnivores that enjoy eating zooplankton, small invertebrates, and plant matter. So let's go ahead and check omnivorous. Check the comments. Discus tacos would be pretty expensive, but I feel like it would be really yummy. You know what? If you guys ever feel like experimenting with fish recipes, let me know. If anyone gets up a recipe, I'll add it to the database sooner rather than later. Requires balanced diet of meat and vegetable virgins will accept pellets, flakes, live food as long as it is small enough for them to eat. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the temperature. 72 to 84, that's a pretty big range. Let's see what else people have said. 73 to 84, and you'll see that there's a lot of cross-pollination, I guess, between these different sources, because like people will do something like I'm doing and look it up. So here we have 72 to 82. So I'm actually going to narrow that range a little bit, 73 to 80. So the highest low that we've had is 73, and the lowest high that we've had is this one. So let's go ahead and put like 74 to 78, and then add that they can tolerate a bit of variance on either side. This species can tolerate a bit of temperature variance, both a little lower and a little higher, but they are a tropical species. Let's see what they say about pH. A little bit on the softer side, so 5.5. I'll just do like 6 to 7. pH 6 to 7. Commonly bred in captivity and can handle different pH as well. Level, they're mostly, I would say, surface to mid. They school both at the surface for feeding and in the middle of the tank. Other information, great nanofish. The males, once mature, will start to display brighter reds and oranges. So it's best to have a mix of males and females in the tank. They get along well with lots of other nano species. Let's go ahead and move on to breeding. So I'm going to close these Reddit and forum posts. Egg laying, so it looks like egg scattering. Yeah, eggs will hatch after a few days. Behavior and temperament. All you need is a tank where males and females are present together. We love that. So let's go ahead and put egg scattering here. Spawning elaboration, female will scatter eggs. Males will follow behind to fertilize. Is there anything about the spawn size? My guess is about 20. No parental care. Egg layer, yes, we know that. Okay, so I'm going to put about 20. I don't know if that's correct or not. I assume somebody who knows this species better than I will eventually come in and correct this. Water changes, high quality food, and then information about fry care, unless the tank is densely planted. Parents might predate the young. And then we'll go ahead and add these images. Adult. Potential, let's see. I don't actually know how to sex these, so I'm just going to put adult. And then we'll do that. Add another image. This one. Adult schooling. All right, so then we have this distribution here, South America and this river basin. Let's take a look where that is. Okay, it looks like the river basin is further. Oh, I guess I'll just put Brazil. That looks about where that is, and I'll close out of the rest of these tabs. So now we have Brazil, kind of in the center. So central. And then we'll have the Araguaia River Basin. I'll go ahead and submit. And then I will go ahead and approve that. And call it good. All right, so I think that's probably enough for today. I'll stop the stream for now and hang out if you guys have any questions. But other than that, I'm just going to sit here and talk for another couple of minutes and then kind of end the stream. So I do plan on doing this once a week on Sundays, just to kind of encourage other people to also have a time, like a set time during the week where they can show up and, you know, contribute to the database as well, get help. It's like live troubleshooting, I guess. If you're having any problems with the database, I can come help you out. yeah, so that's kind of what I've been thinking about, just also as a way to keep in touch with everyone as the project starts to grow, which I am very thankful for. Um, I wasn't sure if I'd ever get this far, but now we're here, and it's actually working. So we added a couple species to the database, approved 3 different species for the database too, and yes, it will be this time every Sunday, starting at 5 p.m. MST to about 6. I don't think I'll ever run longer than an hour, but now that I've said that, of course, maybe there'll be one day where I just binge it, right? Um, if you have species you want me to add, go ahead and send them my way. Pictures that you want me to use, again, send them my way. Yeah, I think that's about it, unless anyone else has something to say before I end the stream. I'll hang out a second because I know there's a little bit of lag between when I say things and when they show up in the comments. Go ahead and close out of my tabs. And a lot of them open for this stream. But yeah, thank you guys for coming, and I guess I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.